is David Williams. I'm with RP Fetter Industrial. I'm out of the Rochester office. We're at Binghamton University this morning in the engineering building, and this owner end user training is specifically designed for the AERCO benchmark boiler, and these boilers are the BMK model 2000. Now we're going to remove the cabinet doors and look at the internal components of the boiler. A quarter turn on the locks, doors up. Alright, so now with the doors off, you can see the internal components in the benchmark boiler. We have, for starters, the FM gas train, factory mutual gas train, one single safety shut-off valve. This is an SSOB actuator with regulator. High pressure switch, low pressure switch for the gas train itself. Safety circuits here. Air proving switch, blower proof switch, air fuel valve. There are numerous safeties in all of the AERCO benchmark boilers with any boiler manufacturer. The FM gas train is just part of that. In this system we also have 3 high temperature safeties on the boiler external to the Seymour control panel. The control panel has its own high temperature safeties, but in addition we have an audible reset, automatic audible reset. We have a secondary reset, which is also automatically reset, and then a third high limit that requires a manual reset. Those are all standard in every AERCO benchmark. The factory mutual gas train comes down here and ties into the air fuel valve. The air fuel valve is controlled by the Seymour controller in addition to the blower. The modulating DC blower works with the air fuel valve to open and close to mix natural combustion air with gas into the manifold, into the blower, into the external manifold, down into the burner. AERCO.com has all sorts of videos showing the internal workings, the dimensions of the burner, the rifled tubes, all of the heat exchanger itself, and the combustion chamber. It's hard to see on IR because it's all buried. But like I said, the AERCO.com has lots of pictures and information on each one of those. We also have the ignition components, pretty standard, an ignition transformer, a circuit here that senses the temperature, enough current, and there's, like, again, additional safeties in the Seymour. Without the correct current, it will shut the boiler off. Those devices go up to the ignition components, the igniter injector, which uses a solenoid to inject pilot gas directly into the spark ignition. That sets off the spark, and then you'll see the flame sensor, flame detector, or flame rod to prove flame before the boiler is allowed to open the gas valve and go through its modulation and begin the firing. Those are the basic components to the working orders of the internal of the boiler. The gas valve, the gas train, safety shut-off valves, the pressure switches, which all have to be configured before startup, and then we have combustion air through the air fuel valve into the motor and then into the burner. The burner itself is a stainless steel mesh burner, which I would say it actually glows. The gas and the pressure radiate out from it. It's not similar to the old style, just straight out injection burner where you're just going to have flames blasting out. It's more of a stainless steel mesh. And pictures of those burners are available online. Alright, so to continue, I wanted to talk briefly about the maintenance for the AERCO Benchmark 2000 boilers. This is an annual maintenance kit, and it contains one igniter and one flame rod for each boiler. And you get a little bit more of a look at what that flame rod is. And then in addition, in each kit comes an ejection igniter. This is the sparker, if you want to call it, the igniter itself, and that goes down into the burner combustion area, and then between those two components we recommend that they be changed annually. That's why it's called the annual maintenance kit. At the same time, you're going to want to remove the condensate traps and clean out the condensate traps. There's a float inside that moves up and down. It's always good to keep those clean so they work properly. And at the same time, inspect the neutralizing pellets in the neutralizers. The acidic content in the condensate is very high, and it will rot the drains. It'll eat the copper, it'll eat the cast iron. It's okay with PVC and stainless, but we don't see a lot of stainless in the ground. So each boiler has its own condensate neutralizer to lower the pH levels to protect the drains in the ground. This trap, a little clean out, keep it clean on the ball so that it will operate properly, and remove and rinse or replace the pellets depending on their current status. That kind of sums up the annual maintenance. So as we discussed earlier, each of the boilers has the red sequencing valve, opens and closes based on a call for heat in the set point in the configuration of the boilers. This is the AERCO boiler valve controller. Basically, this controller is operating those valves. Now, the AERCO control system is what actually controls the individual boilers. The controls contractor, Siemens, is sending this piece of equipment a signal based on the outdoor temperature for that day. That signal is then used to control which boiler comes on, how many boilers comes on, and where those boilers fire. So in conjunction with the valve controller, this baby cycles and sequences individual boilers, controls lead lag functions, and overall runtime. This concludes the end user owner training for the AERCO Benchmark 2000 boilers located in the Binghamton University Engineering Building. Each of the boilers here in this boiler plant has the manuals in each of the units, an operation manual and an installation manual. All of the information is also on the AERCO website. That's aerco.com, AERCO.com. They have all the technical manuals, including instructions and technical instruction documents for all of the maintenance and changing of components.